Honestly, looking at the naming conventions for this franchise for the very first time is it's an absolute nightmare. I mean, Final Season Part 2, Final Chapter Special 1. It is a total mess. If you're staring down this massive behemoth of a series, you absolutely need the definitive Attack on Titan watch order, like right now, just to actually survive the experience without getting completely lost. Because right now, you're looking at 94 main episodes, plus 8 separate OVAs, and on top of that, 8 different movies, recaps, and specials. It's an absurd amount of content, but hey, don't stress, because we're going to cut right through all that noise right here. This is your complete watch order, perfectly optimized so you know exactly what is essential to the story and what to just toss aside. So why is getting the order right so crucial? Well, it all comes down to preserving the mystery. This isn't just some action show where giant things blow up. It's this intensely dark, high-stakes mystery where humanity is trapped behind enormous walls, constantly under threat by giant flesh-eating titans. Literally every single episode is a puzzle piece. If you play this out of sequence, you're going to ruin massive, series-defining reveals. Figuring out exactly how to watch Attack on Titan is absolutely vital to preserving that claustrophobic tone and protecting yourself from massive spoilers. Which brings us to the golden rule for this binge watch guide. We strictly follow the broadcast release order. Why? Because chronological order is a complete trap. If you try to watch things purely by the timeline, you will trigger monumental spoilers for later seasons, and trust me, you don't want that. The broadcast release order delivers every single twist, every plot revelation, and every mystery exactly as the creator intended for you to experience them. All right, jumping right out of the gate, we slam directly into Season 1. All 25 episodes are an absolute must-watch main canon. This covers the terrifying fall of Wall Maria and the brutal reality of the Scout Regiment training. It sets the stakes, introduces the core cast, and immediately lets you know that nobody, and I mean nobody, is safe in this universe. But the exact moment that explosive first season wraps, the timeline gets messy. First up, you're going to see something pop up called Chibi Theater Fly Cadets Fly. It's basically 9 comedic shorts. Skip it. It completely ruins the pacing. But right after that is OVA 1, titled Ilsa's Notebook. This one is highly recommended canon because it drops some wild, essential lore about Titan behavior that you absolutely need to see early on. Following that are OVAs 2 and 3, The Sudden Visitor and Distress. These are literally just cooking showdowns and training side missions. Slap an optional label on those and skip them. Next on the slate, you'll probably encounter recap movies 1 and 2, Crimson Bow and Arrow, and Wings of Freedom. They are just summaries of Season 1. Easy skip them both, but do not, seriously, do not skip OVAs 4 and 5, called No Regrets. This is a 2-part, highly recommended canon masterpiece that gives you Levi Ackerman's underground origin story. It adds an incredible amount of depth to his character going into the next arcs. Now, before we hit the next major arc, the franchise tried to distract everyone with some weird spin-offs. You've got the 12-episode junior high middle school parody, the 2015 live-action movie Part 1, the 3-episode Counter Rockets web series, and the live-action sequel End of the World. Let me just do the math for you real quick. By completely ignoring this non-canon filler list, you just saved yourself roughly 9 hours of your life. Skip the live-action disaster entirely and keep your momentum going. And keeping that momentum brings us right into Season 2. This is a super tight 12-episode run, and it is a mandatory must-watch. This is where we start unraveling the Clash of the Titans arc. The mysteries get deeper, the betrayals hit so much harder, and the animation steps up to a whole new level here. Now, right after Season 2 is where we hit a major divide in the community. Like half the fandom will tell you that the side story OVAs kill the main pacing and should just be skipped entirely. But this breakdown stance is crystal clear. Do not skip OVAs 6 and 7, collectively known as Lost Girls. This is a gritty military police detective mission centered on Annie Leonhardt, and it is incredibly well-written canon. Now, OVA 8, which is Mikasa's alternate reality dream scenario, that one you can definitely treat as optional filler, but respect the Annie arc for sure. Moving forward on this timeline guide, we hit Recap Movie 3, The Roar of Awakening. Skip it. Then we dive into the absolute peak of the series, Season 3. Part 1 gives you 12 episodes of intense political conspiracy in the Uprising arc, and Part 2 delivers 10 episodes featuring the monumental return to Shiganshina and the Basement Truth. Both parts are must-watch, main canon. Once that wraps, you'll see Recap Movie 4, Chronicle, trying to summarize the first 3 seasons. You know what to skip by now. Ignore it. I actually have to pause for just a second to ask. For those of you rewatching or who already know what's coming, Which specific moment in Season 3, Part 2 completely wrecked you? Between the sheer desperation of the Shiganshina battles and finally learning what is hiding in that basement, it is just an emotional meat grinder. Drop a comment and let me know, just without spoiling it for the newcomers. Because right after the basement, everything changes. And I want to take a quick second to say, if you've been following along, this entire series is covered right here. This is the honest take, no filler, no hype, just exactly what you need. Because going into the final season, the entire paradigm shifts. The global conflict moves across the ocean to Marley, the tone gets infinitely darker, and the lines between hero and villain completely dissolve. Now, the naming convention here is notoriously awful, so follow this strictly. First, watch the final season part 1, which is 16 episodes. Next is the final season part 2, clocking in at 12 episodes. After that, do not look for a part 3. You need to watch the final season, the final chapter special 1, followed directly by the final chapter special 2. All of these blocks are absolute must-watch main canon. It is a relentless escalation that leads directly to the rumbling. Just to be absolutely crystal clear on the very end of this canon order, the final chapters special 1 and 2 are the official, intended series finale. Recently, they released a compilation movie called The Last Attack. This is literally just a theatrical edit combining those two final TV specials. It's really cool if you want to see it on a big screen, but functionally it is purely an optional theatrical edit. The TV specials are the definitive finish line. Okay, we have survived the timeline. Now, here is the honest truth about Attack on Titan. I'm taking off the hype goggles for the zero anime verdict. Who is actually going to love this? Anyone who thrives on high-stakes mystery, deeply complex world-building, and morally gray conflicts. If you love piecing together a massive puzzle, this is your holy grail. But who will struggle with it? Honestly, viewers avoiding heavy, bleak, or deeply oppressive themes. This show is brutal, it's depressing, and it pulls exactly zero punches. But what makes sticking to this exact canon order unforgettable is that the author delivered an absolute masterclass in setups and payoffs. Details from episode 1 literally don't pay off until episode 80. It's phenomenal. So if you're ready to dive in, get your screenshot button ready for the rapid-fire recap. We're going to do a lightning-fast verbal rundown of the final optimized path so you have it all in one place. All right, here we go. Season 1 is must-watch. Skip Chibi. Watch OVA 1 for lore. Skip OVAs 2 and 3. Skip recap movies 1 and 2. Watch OVAs 4 and 5 for Levi's backstory. Skip Junior High and all live action. Watch Season 2. Watch OVAs 6 and 7 for Annie. Skip recap movie 3. Skip OVA 8. Watch Season 3 Part 1 and Part 2. Skip recap movie 4. Watch Final Season Part 1, Final Season Part 2, and finally, the Final Chapter Special 1 and Special 2. Ignore the Last Attack movie unless you're physically at the theater. Zero confusion. Just the order. Comment the moment the first season ends. Want to know your reaction? Subscribe to Zero Anime for more episode breakdowns. See you in the next video.